Section 3.3 is talking about radian measures of angle. So he wants to introduce to you another way of measuring the angles that is called radians other than the degree. So if you have a circle with radius r and you took an angle that is equivalent to an arc with the same length r. So this is r and this is r and this arc also length is r. So he's referring to this angle as a radian. You can call it radian or r. So the measure of this angle is equal to the measure of the arc opposite to it, so it's equal to r. I know that the whole circle is 360 degrees, and I know also that the circumference of the circle is 2 by r. He's calling this a degree system and he's calling this a radian system. So the 180 degree is equivalent to, I divided by 2, is equivalent to by r. And since r is equal to this angle radian, so he's calling it also by radian. So 180 degree is equal to by radian. So how much is 1 radian? It will equal to 180 divided by which is approximately equivalent to 57.3 degree. I consider that pi is 22/7. So if you calculate it, 180 times 7 divided by 22, you will get this angle 57.3 in round. So to convert from radian to degrees, you will multiply by 180 over pi. And to convert from degrees to radian, you will do the opposite. So if you have an angle in degree and you want to convert it to radian, you will multiply 2 times pi over 180. And if you have an angle in radian and you want to convert it to degree, you will multiply by 180 over pi. And this is the whole section purpose, is to know that the angles can be measured in degrees and in radian. In this section, he's asking to memorize these formulas of the angles. What is the measures in radian? What is the sine of this angle, cosine of this angle, and tangent of this angle? طبعا you need to memorize it, but I will explain to you how did we get this table in case you forgot it. You also need to memorize that sine 37 degree is 3/5, cosine 37 degree is 4/5, and tangent 37 is 3/4. This also we can, if you know only the sine, you can get the cosine and you can get the tangent. And 53 is the supplementary of the 37. So sine 53 is equal to cosine 37, if you noticed. And sine 37 is 3/5, which is equal to cosine, the supplementary of it, 3/5. And the tangent of 53 is the flip of this, is 4/3. Before I explain how did we get the numbers in this table, so you can easily memorize them, I will go to section 3.4. Quickly, section 3.4 is talking about right angle triangles and how to get the sine, cosine, and tangent. So if you have any right angle triangle, the sine of the angle A is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The cosine of the angle A is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. The tangent is equal to the sine over the cosine, so it is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. So using these formulas, this is basically the whole section 4 is talking about these 3 formulas and how to apply them. So I will apply them in getting that table. So I have these angles in degrees and I want to calculate them in radian. To get any angle from degree to radian, I will multiply times pi over 180. So I will keep pi and I will divide each angle divided by 180. طبعا 0 times pi over 180 is 0. 30 times pi over 180, I will keep the pi. 30 over 180, you divide the 3, it will be 1. You divide 180 divided by 3, it will be 6. The zeros will be cancelled. 45 over 80, it will be by over 4. 60 over 80, it will be by over 3. 90 over 80 طبعا 2, so by over 2. 120 over 80, it will be 2 over 3 by 120 over 180. Zeros will be cancelled, divided by 6 equal 2, divided by 6 equal 3. Okay, 135 over 180, I believe divided by 3 equal by 30 equal 6. This divided by 30 equal 5. So it will be 5. So 135 over 180, I will divide by 3 equal 45, by 3 equal 60, divided by 5 equal 12, and by 5 equal 9, by 3 equal 3, by 3 equal 4. So 3 over 4 pi. 150 over 180, you will calculate, it will be 5 over 6 pi. 180 over 180 طبعا 1, so this is pi. Now I want to get the sine of this angle. The sine of the angle 0 is 0. Sine of the angle 30. I hope you remember the 30-60 triangle, where we used to say that C, which is opposite to the 30 degrees, is equal to A over 2. And B is equal to radical 3C. So I can redraw this triangle. This is 30, and this is 60, and this is the right angle. A, I will keep it as it is. C is equal to A over 2, so I can put this as A over 2. B is equal to radical 3 over 2A, or radical 3C. I will remove the B and I will put radical 3 over 2A. So now I will use the 30-60 degree triangle, and I will use the 45 degree triangles to calculate the sine, cosine, and the tangent. For the angle 0, you just need to remind that the radian is 0, the sine is 0, the cosine is 1, and the tangent is 0. Sine 0 over 1 is 0. For the 30 degree, the sine is equal to the opposite over the tangent, hypotenuse, so A over 2 divided by A, so 1 over 2. The cosine is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. The adjacent is radical 3 over 2. طبعا A will cancel the A. And the tangent is this over this. So it will be 1 over radical 3. And you will have to multiply by radical 3 up and down. So this will be radical 3 over 3. 45 degree, the sine is equal to the cosine because these two sides are equal. So the sine is equal to radical 2 over 2, and also the cosine is radical 2 over 2, and the tangent is equal to 1 because this divided by this is equal to 1. You're dividing by the same thing. 60, this is the angle 60. The sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, so radical 3 over 2. The cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so 1 over 2. The tangent, this divided by this, so radical 3. 90 is the opposite of the 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 1, this is 0. 1 divided by 0 is undefined. 120 degree is supplementary to the 60. 180 minus 120 is equal to 60. So I will show you a very nice trick. You will copy the results of the sine, cosine, and tangent of the supplementary. So radical 3 over 2, 1 over 2, radical 3. But the 120 is in the second quarter. You see, your 60 is here, so the sine is positive, the cosine is positive, the tangent is positive. The 120, which is the supplementary of the 60, it will lie here. So your sine is positive, cosine negative, tangent negative. So the only thing you need to do is to change the sign. So your cosine will be negative, your tangent will be negative. The same thing, 135 is supplementary to 45. So the same answers will come. Radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2, and 1. But here also, you're in the second quarter, so your cosine will be negative and your tangent is negative. 150 is supplementary to the 30, so I will copy the 30. 1 over 2, radical 3 over 2, radical 3 over 3. But your cosine and your tangent are negative because this is the second quarter. 180 is complementary to the 0, so I will copy 0, 1, 0, but your cosine is negative. Your tangent is negative, but negative 0 and positive 0 is the same, so this will remain as 0. I hope this is an easy way for you to know how these numbers, and in case you forgot one, you can get it. This rule, I think you remember from the Pythagoras theorem, is a square, this square plus this square is equal to this square. So your hypotenuse a square is equal to 2, let's say 2b square. So any of the sides b is equal to the hypotenuse over radical 2, and you're multiplied by radical 2 over radical 2 because you cannot keep the radical in the denominator. So radical 2 over 2. So I'm removing the sides and putting radical 2 over 2. The same way, if you remember this rule, this is half and this is a right angle, so this square plus this square is equal to this square. That's how I get that this is radical 3 over 2 of the hypotenuse. And you can get your formulas. The supplementary is the sine, cosine and tangent of the supplementary angles. Remember this please, is exactly equal to it, but check where is the supplementary angle, it lies in which quarter, and then put your signs. So if you have if he give you any angle, let's say he give you this, also you need to memorize, so I will take this as an example. He give you sine 37, which is equal to 3 over 5, and cosine 37, that is equal to 4 over 5, and the tangent of 37 is equal to 3 over 4. Okay, if you want the supplementary, so 180 minus 370, if he got you, I want sine 143, it is exactly equal to sine of the complementary angle, and because it is the second quarter, the sine is positive, so it is positive. The cosine will be the same answer but negative. The tangent will be the same answer but negative. So please just memorize this. The sine 37, 3 over 5, cosine 4 over 5, tangent 3 over 4, and the sine of the supplementary is equal to the cosine of the complementary, sorry. This 53 is complementary to 37 because 90 minus 37 is equal to 53. So these two angles are complementary, means when you add you get 90. So the sine of the complementary is equal to the cosine, and the cosine of the complementary is equal to the sine. The tangent is sine over cosine, so you can get it. So now I will start solving 3.3. What whole number must be used to fill in the blank? 3 over 5 radians. He wants to convert it to degree. So 3 over 5 by, to convert to degree, I'll multiply by 180 over pi. Pi will cancel the pi. Divided by 5 equal 1. Divided by 5 equal 36. 36 times the 3 is equal to 108. Question 2 is the opposite. He have 140 degrees and he want to convert it to 2 radians. So I will multiply by pi over 180, and this is 140. طبعا the 0 will cancel the 0. Divided, this is a hint, so this will be 9. So divided by 2 equal 9. Divided by 2 equals 7. So I have 7 pi over 9. I have pi, I have 9. He wants the number 7. So I'll put here 7. What whole number must replace the question mark? Cosine pi over 3. Pi over 3 is the radian angle, which is equivalent to 60 degree. And cosine 60 is 1 over 2. So the first one is 1 over 2 times tan pi over 6. Pi over 6 is 30 degree. Tan the 30 degree is radical 3 over 3. So times radical 3 over 3. So this will equal to radical 3 over 2 times 3 is 6. He wants the question mark only, so I will put 6. Question 4, he wants secant pi over 4 times cotan pi over 4. The secant is the reciprocal of the cosine. So cosine pi over 4 means the 45 degree is radical 2 over 2. The reciprocal, so it will be 2 over radical 2 times cotan pi over 4, so it's the reciprocal of the tan pi over 4, which is 1. 1 over 1 is 1. I cannot keep the radical in the denominator, so I have 2 radical 2. I have to multiply radical 2, radical 2. So I have 2 radical 2 over 2. This will cancel, so radical 2. Tan 210 times secant 360. 210, what is the supplementary angle? 210 minus 180. It is 30 degrees. So I will follow the 30 degree. Tan 30 degree is radical 3 over 3. So radical 3 over 3. The 210 is in which quarter? It's here. This is from 0 to 90, 90 to 180, 180 to 270. So 210 is here. Here your cosine is negative, your sine is negative, and your tan is positive. So it will remain positive. Radical 3 over 3 times secant 360. 360, the supplementary is 180 and 0. So I will follow the 0. And the secant is the reciprocal of the cosines. Cosine 0 is 1. 1 over 1 is 1. So times 1. It is already simplified. So radical 3 over 3. Question 5 is actually direct application on that table. So he's giving you the angle. He wants the sine, the cosine, and the tan. 30, 45, 60, 90. I already explained all of this until 135. Type 240. 240 is supplementary to 240 minus 180, 60. So I will follow the 60 degree. I will fill the same numbers of the 60 degree. So radical 3 over 2 and 1 over 2 and radical 3. And 240 is in which quarter? It's in this quarter. So I have negative sine, negative cosine, and positive tan. So the sine will be negative, the cosine will be negative, the tan will be positive. So you will follow the 30 degree, you will follow the 60 degree. You see the same numbers, but you will follow the signs of the quarter that it falls in. 360 and is exactly same as the 0. So 0, 1, 0. 0, 1, 0. By radians is equal to how many degree? I will multiply by times 180 over pi. Pi will cancel the pi, so I have only 180. Question 7. What is the value of k if 100 degree is equal to 5 over k pi? 100 degree, 2 radians, 100 times pi over 180. The pi will remain as it is, so I need to simplify the 100 and the 180. He already told you that this will be 5, so divided by 20 equal 5. So I will divide the 180 divided by 20, it's equal to 9. So this is 5 over 9 pi. You already have the 5 and the pi, so you need to put 9. Question 1. Which of the following is true? Sine 30 degree. Sine 30 degree is 1 over 2, so this is wrong. Cosine 30 is radical 3 over 2. This is correct. Cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine, so it will be 2. So this is correct. The secant is the reciprocal of the cosine, so it should be 2 over radical 3, or this is not 2. Cotan 30, it's the reverse of the tan. The tan here is 3 over radical 3 over 3, so you will reverse that. It will be 3 over radical 3. You cannot keep the radical in the denominator, so times radical 3 times radical 3, so it will be this will be 3 and it will be cancelled with this 3, so the answer is only radical 3. So cotan 30 degree is radical 3. This is correct. Question 2. What number between 0 and 90 must be used to fill in the blank? Secant 34 degrees. It will equal to the cosecant of the complementary angle. So you will make 90 minus 34 it will equal to 56. So it will be 56. I hope you remember sine 37 is 3 over 5, which is equal to cosine the complementary, also 3 over 5. Cosine 37, it will equal to sine the complementary. So sine of any angle, it's equal to cosine the complementary angle, means 90 minus this angle. And the opposite is correct. Cosine any angle x is equal to sine the supplementary of this angle, 90 minus x. The tan, you can get it when you get the sine and cosine, you can just sine over cosine equal to tan. So the same way, the secant, it is the reverse of cosine, and cosecant is the reverse of the sine. So the same way, the secant of any angle x is equal to cosecant 90 minus x, and cosecant any angle y is equal to secant 90 minus x minus y. Question 3 is the explanation how we got this, which I already done, so I will just refresh it. So sine 60, sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So sine 60, this is 60, the opposite is radical 3 over 2 over the hypotenuse. So the answer is radical 3 over 2. Because here the hypotenuse is a will cancel the a. Cosine is the next one over the hypotenuse. So cosine will be a over 2 over a, so it will be 1 over 2. Tangent is this over this. So radical 3 over 2 divided by 1 over 2, which is radical 3 over 2 times 2, so it will be only radical 3. Secant 60, it is the reciprocal of the cosine, so it will be 2. Cosecant 60, it is the reciprocal of the sine, so it will be 2 over radical 3. 2 over radical 3 times radical 3 over radical 3, 2 radical 3 over 3. Cotan 60, it is the reverse of the tan, so 1 over radical 3 times radical 3 over radical 3, because I cannot keep radical in the denominator, so radical 3 over 3. ABC is a right triangle with AB equal 11, BC is 60, and AC is 61. طبعا this is the hypotenuse. As a fraction in lowest terms, what's the value of cosine A? Cosine A, the adjacent over the hypotenuse. The adjacent, طبعا I have to take something with A. So this is the adjacent, so 11 over the hypotenuse, because it's the biggest one, over 61. And there's no simplification, so 11 over 61.